before taking over the FBI, you were very critical of a lot that was done within the previous administration, and rightly so. A lot of weaponization of this agency in particular for political purposes. And I know one of the things that you really want to focus on is making sure the American people feel great about this agency. So where do you stand on that? What is it that you've done, and what do you think you might be able to do more in order to allow the American people to trust the FBI once again?
In terms of trust, coming back to Russiagate, where I was the lead investigator on Capitol Hill, exposing the FISA abuse, the weaponization, the FBI lies to a secret court, to illegally and unlawfully surveil the political opponent. Yes, that happened with information they basically made up from overseas. So the way that we ensure public trust is to make sure that it never happens again. That's step one. Step two, accountability and transparency. So what we're doing, especially with our deep knowledge of what happened in Russiagate, is two things on a parallel track. Congress, oversight. I'm committed and wed to congressional oversight. My predecessors turned over Comey 3,000 pages to Congress in his 3 years and change, and Chris Wray turned over 13,000 in his almost 7 years. In my 9 months, we've turned over 40,000 pages of material to Congress, not just Russiagate, Arctic Frost, but so many other things that they're interested in. We're going to continue doing that because I believe, as a senior staffer on the Hill, that's the best way to expose the information to the public and say, here, you read it, and you tell us what your feedback is. In this very building, there were rooms that were hidden away from the map site of the building, and nobody had access into them. And once we got into those rooms, we found more information related to the Russiagate hoax from prior FBI leadership. Information that was in burn bags that they wanted to have destroyed, but for whatever reason, no one ever got around to it, or they thought we would just never find it. So we have multiple teams. We've built squads for both Russiagate and Arctic Frost, and we're using the grand jury process, and we are issuing, I think we're up to like 75 or 100 subpoenas already for witnesses. That's what you target first. We also have targets of our investigation, people we think committed acts of criminal conduct. And this, in my opinion, is why the media is going so hog wild over the Comey prosecution, right? Notice how they're not attacking the evidence. They're just saying, oh, so-and-so was improperly appointed. That, to me, shows me we're over the target. That was just step one.
So you still have open investigations into these people. You're still looking into what ultimately happened with them. So do you think we'll see more come out of this?
What I try to remind the American public of is the people that built this weaponization of justice and intelligence and law enforcement and its politicization. They built this disease temple. It took them like 10 years. We've been in the seat 9 months, and we've already ripped open the Band-Aid and showed the world how they illegally surveilled on members of Congress, senators and House members, and staffers like myself on top of Russiagate. So we are not only exposing what they did, but they are frantically, the media, the mainstream media, and those that were involved in the weaponization of justice are trying to cover it up by dousing water on our investigation. Do you think that's going to stop me and the deputy here? We're going to get there. We're already halfway there on a lot of it. I firmly believe that this Comey case is far from over. We are not finished. We are formulating a plan to make sure that we actually use the Constitution to hold people accountable and don't let the mainstream media drive another form of weaponization of justice. These people will not be let off the hook.
Operation Southern Spear is something the president has talked a lot about, making sure that we do not have illicit drugs coming into this country, stopping them before they get to our borders. You actually brokered an agreement with China to crack down on the precursor chemicals that go into making fentanyl. Talk about that. That's a big deal.
This FBI alone, just to give you a baseline, this year has seized, I think, 1,900 plus kilograms of fentanyl. That's enough to kill 127 million Americans. We've done that in 9 months. And so President Trump rightfully engaged with President Xi and said, hey, we got to work on this. We got to shut it off completely. And the precursors, the chemicals that make up this deadly substance that the Mexican drug traffickers utilize both in Mexico and Colombia to formulate fentanyl, come from somewhere. They come from China. So not only did we shut off 1 or 2 or 3 of them, all 13 precursors shut off. All 7 chemical adjusters used to make fentanyl more lethal have also been restricted in mainland China. On top of that, we worked with governments like the government of India to shut down the transshipment of alternate shipping routes for these precursors. So not only did we suffocate the flow of precursors out of mainland China, we went to the countries they were going, the drug trafficking organizations were going to, and said, you're no longer allowed to help ship this stuff. So we are launching and have launched the largest narcotics operation in FBI history. We're up over, I think, 200,000 kilos of cocaine seized and tens of thousands of kilos of meth. We already this year alone have captured 4 of the FBI's most wanted fugitives from around the world. This includes drug traffickers. This includes people who are building this ecosystem in Mexico and Colombia and elsewhere and utilizing it to ship in not just by air and sea, but by travel routes from down south, and thankfully the southern border sealed, so that's much less of a problem. But they're getting creative, right? They're doing airdrops and things like that. So what is the Bureau doing? We're going out there and dismantling the human trafficking networks. And why do I bring that up? Because it's the same network that smuggles kids into this country illegally, that is smuggling drugs into this country illegally. And the FBI's arrest and dismantling of human trafficking networks and cocaine and drug trafficking networks is up 35% this year alone from the same time period last year. That is how you cripple the flow of narcotics, and also how you cripple the abuse of underage kids, which is another big focus of ours here.
It's very clear that you guys are on such a different track than I think we've really seen the FBI's as far as I can remember. In the next 12 to 18 months here as director, what are your goals? What do you want to see happen as far as you're concerned here?
Our 2 priorities: national security, crushing violent crime, equally important to the American people and the world. So if this FBI were failing, we would not be on the verge of having the lowest murder rate in modern U.S. history by double digits. And just to talk to our counterintelligence mission, the number of arrests for those willing to spy on behalf of nation-state actors like Russia and the DPRK and Iran is up 40% year to date alone. So what I want to see in the next 12 to 18 months is us get those numbers even higher and wipe out the landscape from those willing to do harm to our country and our population, and especially our children. And these predators online have been left alone for far too long. The prior administration talked about all the cases they opened. Who cares about all the cases you open if you don't close them?
I mean, tell me about the feeling to be here. The first day you walked in here and knew you would be able to make a difference, knew you'd be able to right the wrongs.
Only in Donald Trump's America could a kid who was a public defender, whose parents lawfully emigrated here by fleeing a dictatorship in East Africa, rise up and see their kid become the 9th director of the FBI. But it's a privilege, and you can't waste it, and you can't dwindle the time. And so what we have to do is make sure this 24/7 mission continues nonstop. But it's also a recognition that what was going on for the last 4 years? Why are you arresting so many people in such historic numbers? It's because of intentionally failed policies. And I want the world to recognize that the Trump administration came in and rejiggered those policies and changed them or ended them or completely collapsed them. And so when I show up to work for this 37,000 person workforce, I tell them one single thing every single day. We have to put the mission first and ignore all the noise in the media. The deputy and I will deal with the media and whatever hits come, but the louder they're hitting us and the more often they're hitting us just tells me we're over the target.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.